Gaming headsets have come a long way in just the past few years. Things like wireless connectivity, virtual surround sound, and active noise cancellation are features that adorn mainstream headsets today. But today I'm going to show you what I believe to be the next step in evolution for wireless gaming headsets, at least when it comes to consoles. This is the Stealth 600 by Turtle Beach. It's a gaming headset that was released recently alongside its bigger brother, the Stealth 700. Physically, the headsets are very similar. They have the same body, the same wireless integration, and the same 50mm drivers. However, the 700 has a few extra features such as Bluetooth connectivity so you can take phone calls or listen to music, a mobile app to change headset settings, dynamic chat boost, active noise cancellation, leather accents instead of this mesh fabric, and the 700 is a little bit more expensive than the review sample I have here. The Stealth 600 retails for $99, while the Stealth 700 is $50 more expensive at $149. This is of course the Xbox version. There is of course a PlayStation version which works with PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4 Pro, and PC right out of the box. It has a little dongle that comes with it. The Xbox version is a little bit different. It only works with Xbox. It can work with PC, but you have to buy a separate dongle for that to work. The look and feel is basically what we've come to expect from Turtle Beach. It's made up of glossy and black plastics, with green accents on the Xbox version and blue accents on the PlayStation version. It most certainly has the gamer aesthetic going on, however it's definitely less obnoxious than a lot of other gaming headsets out there. I'll put it to you this way, you can definitely sit around listening to music without looking ridiculous, which can't be said for most gaming headsets out there. There is also lots of cushion all over the headset. Any part of the headset that touches your head has basically an inch or more of really plush cushion. Again, this is the mesh version. I imagine the leather version is equally comfortable, but I have no problem wearing this for 2-3 hours at a time with no pain around my ears. It's a completely over-the-ear design. You can adjust the overall size of the headset for those with smaller heads and those with very, very large heads, and also the ear cups tilt in and out to better augment the side of the wearer's head. And another thing that I really like is the completely fold flat design for easy storage or transportation. But I mentioned at the beginning of this video that this headset has a feature that I believe to be the next step in the evolution of wireless console headsets. What could that feature possibly be? It's not the fact that it's wireless, but it's how it's wireless. There are no dongles, there are no wires, there are no USB receivers. This is the simplest connection process I've ever encountered with a headset. It connects to your console much the same way a new controller would. You simply turn it on and press a little button on the side to begin to search for a console, and then you likewise press the search button on the side of the Xbox. They find each other, and that's it. That's really it. It really does function just like a controller. You can sync it to an Xbox, you can sync it to another Xbox. You don't need to bring any dongles or receivers with you. It can even be used to turn on the console, again, just like a controller would. You simply turn on the headset, then it's going to turn it on. It also features surround sound gaming, which has become a staple in the headset marketplace. There are two options for virtual surround sound that the headset supports. The first one is already on your console. It's called Windows Sonic Surround Sound, and all you need to do to access that is go into your console settings, go down to the audio settings, and under headset audio, you will find the ability to change it from stereo to Windows Sonic Surround. But there you will also find an option for Dolby Atmos. Now I've used both. I'm currently using a 30-day free trial for Dolby Atmos, and I can definitely say with a surety that the Dolby version sounds much more immersive than the Windows version. However, it does cost money. It typically costs $15. Right now at the time of recording, it's on sale for 20% off. I don't know if it's worth $15. As far as I know, it's a flat rate. It's not like a monthly subscription thing. And it likewise carries over to your PC. So if you listen to audio through your PC on a virtual surround sound headset, you can likewise use Dolby Atmos on there as well. You only have to buy it once, and you can use it on both platforms. For those of you out there like me who often wear glasses, you'll definitely appreciate this next feature. It has a very glasses-friendly design in that the cushion on the lower and upper part of this pad is a harder material. It's more dense, but the space in between is very soft and is not going to press the arm of your glasses up against your head. As you can see, it creates kind of a channel for the arm of your glasses to go through. It also comes with 4 preloaded audio presets, which are signature sound, which is the intended sound that the engineers behind the headset intended for the headset, the type of sound signature they were going for. Then there's a bass boost if you want to listen to music or you want a more boomy cinematic experience. Then there's a bass and treble boost, which is just much punchier. However, I notice at high volumes, if you have the bass and treble boost on, you definitely get a crackling sound if you have the volume maxed out. And then finally, the fourth one is a voice boost, which, if anything, just pushes down the bass and treble. A 15-hour battery life is what Turtle Beach says you can expect from this headset, and from my testing, I didn't quite get it to last that long, but it did last well over 10 hours without needing a recharge. The Stealth 700, which is the more expensive version, is only rated at 10 hours of battery life, and I think that's because it has that added Bluetooth functionality. And unfortunately, you cannot listen to it and charge it at the same time. This is one way that it departs a little bit from a controller. Of course, if you have a rechargeable controller, you can simply plug in the controller into your Xbox and continue using it as a wired controller while it charges. That functionality is not present here. Even if it was, the cord it comes with is way too short. It's only about 2.5, 3 feet long, and I don't think anyone sits that close to their console. And then finally, it has independent chat and game volume knobs, which are definitely useful. You don't need a little dongle sticking out of the bottom of your controller to control that, or have to open the Xbox settings to mess with it. You can simply do it here on the side of the controller, and you get used to where those are pretty quickly. But let's talk about my experience. Well, in my experience, the stereo sound that is playing through the headset right out of the box is pretty unimpressive. I would most definitely recommend that you turn on either the Windows Sonic surround sound or splurge a little bit and get the Dolby Atmos version. It also doesn't get super loud, and again, if you have it on that really boomy setting and you have the volume maxed out, it's going to crackle at really loud areas, so you definitely have to keep that in mind. I would have appreciated it being a little bit louder. I understand it's wireless, so they're probably trying to conserve battery life by not letting it get too loud, but for me personally, I pretty much had it maxed out the entire time. And if you have a lot of exterior noises, you may want to spend a little bit of extra money on the Stealth 700 as opposed to the 600, which I have here. The mesh and the overall design of the headset doesn't do a really great job of canceling out background noise. The Stealth 700 has active noise cancellation, and the Stealth 700 has leather, which I can only imagine would do a better job of blocking out noise anyway. Turtle Beach is known for putting pretty decent microphones on even their budget-friendly devices, and this microphone here is no exception. While it doesn't have the active noise canceling that the Stealth 700 does, it still does a pretty decent job of isolating my voice. I have a mini fridge running over here, and my computer's running right now, so there's plenty of noise, and it does a pretty decent job of filtering that out. And of course, it implements this functionality that we've seen on other headsets, where to mute the microphone, you simply tilt it. Of course, you bring it back down to unmute. But let's get to the elephant in the room, and that is the reported connectivity issues many users have experienced. You're definitely going to encounter multiple reviews with users saying they experience connectivity loss. This is definitely a known issue, and Turtle Beach has been addressing it. But again, I can only go off of my experience, and my experience, at least early on, reflected a lot of these claims. Every minute or so, the sound would cut out for 2 to 3 seconds, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but when it happens so consistently and so repeatedly, it definitely gets really annoying. And sometimes it would disconnect for so long that it would actually completely disconnect from the console, and I couldn't just turn it back on. I'd have to resync it. So I reached out to my media relations contact at Turtle Beach, who also got me in correspondence with one of their engineers, and they suggested several troubleshooting steps that after I took those steps, the headset then began to work pretty much flawlessly. I was also able to connect the headset to my PC, and there I had basically a problem-free experience. I listened to some music, played some Wolfenstein: The New Colossus, and watch some YouTube videos. So here are some troubleshooting steps that they shared with me if you have one of these headsets and you are currently experiencing the issues that I experienced earlier on. First, the most important thing is to update your firmware. Headsets going forward are already going to come with the most recent firmware that's functioning. However, if you bought one that came out of the factory several weeks ago, it's obviously not going to be preloaded with that firmware update. So you need to make sure you update that. And they're going to continue pushing out those updates as much as they're required. You also may want to look into updating your console. Now, the Xbox Ones by default are going to update their operating system automatically. So you may want to go into the system settings and make sure that your console is set to automatic updates, and if not, that you're going in there manually on a regular basis to update your console. Then after that, you may want to hard reset your console. You do that by holding down the power button for several seconds. Of course, I feel a need to mention this. Do not do this when your console is reading or writing information, because this could potentially corrupt your hard drive. Also, make sure that your headset is completely charged. I, for one, noticed that it seemed to have an easier time staying connected when it was fully charged. When it started to die, that's when I noticed a more frequent disconnect from the console. And then finally, I didn't have to do this, but I've seen several users out there mention this. You may want to move your wireless router because some people have reported that the wireless router is interfering with the signal. Now, I can't substantiate these claims because I haven't tested it, but I do know that enough people out there have mentioned it that I feel it's worthwhile mentioning here. In conclusion, if you're someone who purchased the Stealth 600 or 700 for the Xbox earlier on, chances are you likely experienced some of these issues. However, according to Turtle Beach representatives and my own independent testing, the connectivity issues appear to be largely resolved. As with any new technology, there's bound to be some growing pains, but when it works, it's almost magic. When I turned on the headset for the first time and pressed the connect button on the side of the headset and saw it instantly connect to my console, I had this moment of clarity where I realized that's how this is supposed to work. All headsets should do this. It felt so natural. It immediately made dongles, receivers, and wires just seem so obsolete. I guarantee you, from this point forward, you'll start to see more natural compatibility between consoles and headsets. The Stealth 600 comes in at $99 US, which places it in an extremely saturated part of the market. There are a lot of really good options out there for that price. The Stealth 600 isn't alone there. However, where it is alone is this new wireless technology, and if you want to experience it for yourself, then I definitely recommend picking one up. Don't forget to like if you appreciated this video or dislike if you did not, and subscribe so you can see future content that we release down the road. If you want to watch our previous videos where we have reviewed other headsets, feel free to click on those there. And also in the video description, you will find links to monthly giveaways that we do on this channel. We've given away keyboards, headsets, mice, and we have some really cool things coming down the road, so don't forget to enter those giveaways as well. Thanks again for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one.